Central Florida, USA. Welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about immigration processes, especially when it comes to our J1 waiver process. So, we are going to talk today about how to do specifically petition for your spouse with a US citizen. And I'm so blessed that I'm here in Florida and I was able to really learn about the J1 process, and one of which is to submit the Form I-130, which is the petition for alien relative, especially if you got married to your US citizen spouse. That is just one way for us to do it. Now, when it comes to other visas like K1 visa, this is also what you're going to do. And for the information of everyone, it's going to be a family based marriage petition. So, in my case, that's what I did last, in the year 2021, and it worked for us. I got my green card in the year 2023. It's a very long process because I am a former J1 teacher here in Central Florida with 212E rule, and it took us almost or even more than 2 years to really be in the position that I am now. This is going to be a step-by-step process on how we did it, and I always talk about this one in this channel. So we are hoping, or I am hoping, that you will stay with us and you'll get ideas on how I did it. In our process, we really make sure that me and my husband has a legit relationship. That's the main thing. Then we have to do our finances together. Also, we have to prove that we got married here in the state of Florida, which means we have our marriage certificate. I know some of you might just got the marriage license. It's still the same. You'll get that one in the court, which is it's either in your county. That's what you're gonna do. Then in our part, we got married in a church. So we had make sure that that is also documented. We have pictures from our friends and family, not just in the church, but also with the reception. So we have all those pictures. Also, when we have our relationship, we got letters. So we, or I specifically, had all those, and I took pictures, or I printed it out and scanned that one. That way, I have my electronic copy. So those are the um, requirements that will show our relationship. Also, if you got married and you think that you can do joint filing, which is very good, that way you can show the IRS and the USCIS that you have that substantial income together and you're really helping each other. But if you don't have your EAD yet, or employment authorization um, card, then that's going to be something that you have to wait, especially if you are not a J1 teacher, because J1 is already been part of that visa program. So when we came here, we already have our um, authorization to work, but not really work employment base. So it's just a teacher exchange cultural program. So those are some of the substantial evidences that you can use. Then there is a way for you to do it, to file your Form I-130 online, or you can do a paper filing. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to your decision of submitting this spousal form, which is the petition for alien relative, it has nothing to do with the waiver. If you're thinking about the waiver, then yes, it's part of it, but it's not really connected. The reason for that is this: we would need to get the waiver because, as a J1 with 212E rule, it means to say we have to fulfill the 2 years requirement to go back to our home country. But in order for us to move forward in going to get your green card, which is the adjustment of status, then we are going to have the process for the form I-130. If you are a K1, let's just say that is a fiance a visa, they only need to have the form I-130, then the form I-765 work permit, and the adjustment of status form I-485. But as a J1, it's very complicated. You have a lot of forms to have. Form I-130 is number one. Just like what I said, you need requirements for that. And if you wish to do it electronic submission, then you can do it. It's very easy to do. Just follow along through the uscis.gov, and that's where you can find those information. USCIS. That's where you're gonna go. Find it, look at it in Google, and then do online filing. The advantage of doing it an online filing is this: you will have a less payment. I think it's between 625. But if you're gonna do it paper filing, then you're gonna pay most likely around 650 or 675. Make sure you know how much it is. There is an instruction form that is put together by the USCIS. That way you know the step-by-step process. I'm just telling you the process that we did. That way you'll also be guided, or you will have to know someone, especially from a Filipina's perspective, that we are successful with our Form I-130. Now, once you do this one, you can also have your payment through money order. And we really suggest to have money order. That way you have that money already prepared, and you know that that will really go to the field office that is where you have to submit your Form I-130. Now, like I said, Form I-130 can be filed online. Then with your evidences. However, there is a portion which needs to have the signature of your US citizen spouse, where you need to mail that one, which means the money order and that form with the signature in black ink. You need to sign in black ink for your US citizen spouse. You have to put that one in a yellow envelope like this, and you have to mail it either USPS, FedEx, or USPS. It depends on what courier you're gonna have to use. Then you also have to have the Form I-130A, which is like a supplemental support from your spouse, from the spouse of the US citizen, which is like me, the J1 teacher with 212E rule, and that's my visa before. You can file that one online, but in my end during 2021, since we have to submit the form with the signature of my husband through paper, so we just have to have another one with the Form I-130A. So we submit that one together. we waited we waited for 1 year and 5 months before we have an invite to have the interview with the USCIS officer field office in Jacksonville, Florida. So that right there, we have the steps. Now, while filing for your Form I-130, you don't have to stop there. You need to know if there are requests for evidence that they wanted to have. In our time with the submission, right after I submit the Form I-130, I go ahead, like maybe 3 days after that, I submitted the Form I-612, which is the waiver for foreign non-immigrant. And I need that because I have the 212E rule home residency requirement that is stamped not just in my visa but also in my DS 2019. Now, this time, you need to think of two things. Form I-612 that has to be submitted as a waiver to the USCIS. And the second one is the DS-3035 that has to be submitted to the Department of State. That is, if you are subject to the 212E rule. I know some of the J1 teachers that we have in J1 Waiver Helping Hands group, they had done it DIY, and I'm so glad that some of them are also successful. And this is our way of sharing to you about the ideas. Now, when it comes to your evidences, you need to be very specific. Your grounds of getting a waiver is through your US citizen spouse. And a lot of J1 teachers already have successfully got their waiver through US citizen spouse or their marriage with a US citizen here in the United States of America. If you wanted to know more about the step-by-step process, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe in our YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey. That way we can tell you about the different ways on how we can have this immigration process when it comes to J1 waiver. Also, there are a lot of things that you have to prepare. You have to prepare a very compelling argument or reason why the Department of State and the USCIS will give you the waiver. One of which is your statement of reason, not just to be used to the USCIS Form I-612, but also to the DS-3035 Department of State. If you wish to see our template, please go to powerfulcouplejourney.com because I prepare there all the templates that we use in order for you to get at least a guide on how to do it. We already have some J1 teachers that use the guide, and they're so thankful that they have that one because they have the chance to do it themselves. And they also have a one-on-one call with us, which is through Zoom meeting, and we give them information on how we did it. Some of them are saying that they don't need any lawyers because they were even able to submit the Form I-130 by themselves. And they know that they have a simplified marriage, just like what we have. Simplified means I got married before I get married, rather, to my US citizen spouse. I am single while my spouse is also single. We don't have kids yet, no strings attached prior to getting married. That's why we have a very compelling reason to submit our waiver on our own. It really depends on your unique situation in this case when it comes to not just submitting your Form I-130, but also your waiver. Now, we have explicitly saying here that you need to be with your spouse and you need to really tell them the weight of the waiver. Now, you're submitting your Form I-130, you have to submit your Form I-612, and with the Form I-130, which means you also have your Form I-130A, they go hand in hand, your DS-3035, and I have some J1 teachers that they no longer wanted to teach because of the stress that it has given to them. And I know for a fact that I have severely having anxiety as well in teaching before. That's why I submitted my Form I-485 adjustment of status, and that was a concurrent filing with my Form I-765, which is the work permit, and the travel document, which is the Form I-131. So those three I submitted, and I'm so blessed in the year 2021 because you only have to pay once with the Form I-485, and your work permit and your travel document is already free. But now you have to pay them separately. Last April 1, 2024, they changed the rules with the USCIS, and they jacked up the payments. So make sure you know how much you're paying. So far, when I counted how much it is, including the medical and all other um, files that you have to submit, you might probably be spending between 4,900 to $5,020. It depends if you're gonna submit it through online or paper filing. As a J1 teacher who got my waiver, now a green card holder, I do really have to say that with your Form I-130, file it online. It's going to be a very long process. The rest of your papers, file it through paper filing. And not just that, make sure you have your own copy as well. Whenever you file online, or you file rather paper filing, make sure you have your own copy. Some of you are asking, do you need to notarize your documents? Yes, you might do that, especially if it's free from your bank, or you can find cheaper ones to notarize. But if you don't have, let's just say, other documents like letters from your friends and family, just make a lot of copies and then make sure they have their signatures and they have their phone numbers as much as possible. That way, they can really vouch your true relationship. Now, in powerfulcouplejourney.com, we have the checklist there on how we did it step by step process. So if I were you, please don't forget to check out, and we are here to help you with our journey when it comes to the immigration process. I always do my live video Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Florida time. And by the way, we're going to be switching times in the coming week, which is Sunday. So, yay, excited for that. But at the same time, it's going to be interesting. So, you have to know that the checklist is very important for you to know what are the things to prepare. Make sure that you and your spouse is on board, and you know the agony of waiting will be between 2 years or even more. So think of your unique situation. My case that is successful to me might also be helpful to you. So please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more ideas. I also do live videos, not just Wednesdays, but also Sundays after church at 2 p.m. Florida time. And I post every Friday at 2 p.m. That way, you know what are other important things that we would like to share to you regarding the immigration process. In my time in 2021, while I'm processing my J1 waiver, not a lot of information was given in the internet. That's why I vowed to myself, if ever given a chance to get the waiver through do it yourself process, I'm gonna have to revive my YouTube channel, which is this is supposed to be like a inspirational music and calming music, soothing music. But because I've seen the potential of this YouTube channel to switch to having it into the immigration process of J1 waiver and my way of sharing my ideas to you online, then this is now the continuation of this channel, which is the Powerful Couple Journey. So thank you so much for being here. Again, if you wish, please don't forget to go to J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. we have a lot of not just J1 teachers, but also J1 visa holders who got their advisor opinion and they have learned that they are not subject to the 212E rule. Now they're looking for employers that will hire them for H1B visa, which is the dual intent. So it's nice to know that there are a lot of opportunities here in the US as long as you know the process. So again, we are here to help you. Check out J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. Just agree to group rules and I as your admin will accept you immediately. Also visit powerfulcouplejourney.com where you can find immigration processes template that we use, and not just for J1 waivers, but also for teachers who are seeking for the step-by-step process on how to teach here in the US. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey. It will be a great help for the YouTube algorithm. At the same time, sharing the information that there is a certain Filipina from the Philippines who used to be a J1 teacher with 212E rule, now a green card holder because we filed our waiver through do it yourself process. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment as well and we will reach out to you or reach out to J1 Waiver Helping Hands group or to my own Facebook, which is Emmary Powell. Thank you so much for being here. See you on my next video. God bless.